Hey VC, this is Joe with a probably dismal video. Let's see, this is a special old man edition for me. I hurt my back lifting a box of records Sunday that I was going to try to take to a flea market to get rid of some of my excess because my wife is hating me. And I just have records freaking everywhere. I've been become a sort of a crackhead for records. I will try to use humor as a way to qualify or uh, whatever. What's the word I'm looking for? Rationalize? No, mask. I don't know. The problem of my horrible addiction. Um, and thus, with my hurt back, I'm only going to reach for records that are close enough that I don't have to hurt myself to get. I'm sort of making fun of myself here, but I'm a worthy target for myself. Also, this is the Summer in Texas edition. And again, with the Old Man edition, I have some receding hairlines going on, but it was going pretty. Damn, it's getting hot. Oh, let's see here. Special disrobing edition. I'm not going to give you pure nakedness because I'm not a exhibitionist, but here's something I got in the mail today that I gotten recently. This is my actual favorite New Order album, their first album. And I just got the shirt, so I don't take, what I am wearing into account for music videos enough. Okay. I find that when I get records, the first records I put up are the ones I know I love, and they'll go straight into the collection, like the permanent collection, because I know I'll get to them, at some point. Whereas stuff that I'm not sure about stays nearby somewhere for me to work my way through. So I'm surrounded by stuff that's not my favorite. That's sort of dumb, I guess. I don't know. Robert Z probably can't stand to watch this video because, his head will explode. At all my junk records. But let's see. I don't know. Let's see. I picked this up at a garage sale yesterday. Philip Glass record. I love Philip Glass. I'm not familiar with this record at all. Philip Glass Dance, numbers 1 and 3. I paid $8 freaking for this at a garage sale. So, sometimes I get frustrated with people posting on Facebook or YouTube saying, I got this amazing grail for 50 cents. Just because it's like, I want to be happy for you, but it hurts more than I'm happy for you because it's like, why does that shit not happen to me? Let's see. Picked up this Herbie Hancock record I haven't had a chance to listen to yet. Ravi Shankar album I didn't have. Love all his stuff. Period. Exclamation mark. Some other stuff not too remarkable. I guess I'm just trying to make a video here because I'm behind in the making of the videos. Let's see. I want to also comment. I always like to watch the videos by Sonic Mainliner. I think his name is Andreas something. I'm really bad with names, and it's like I don't discover the Facebook people and I don't make the connection between the Facebook people and the YouTube people for 6 months or a year after I've been following them in the different places. I was like, oh, you're this person. Anyway, let's see who else. I need to pull up my subscriptions here. Chad Everett liked your video today. Been chatting a little bit with Dr. Deadwax. Love him. Follow a lot of the usual suspects. Wish Richard Lee would make a video. We need you in the vinyl community, Richard. You have great music. You're a signpost and, wizened guide of the good music. Here's something I picked up. This is one of those things that there's certain records that I've just loved for years, and it's like, well, if I love this record, if I love this album, I should pick it up on vinyl at some point, right? Anyway, so also, I don't understand. Some people Like Sonic Mainliner was commenting that there was some record that he just got that the reissue was just as much as the original pressing. It's like, why would you even think of getting a reissue over an original pressing unless there was something amazing extra? I don't know. I mean, but then again, I'm not an audiophile. For me, if a record is VG, I'm happy. You know, if there's just a little bit of uh, crackle occasionally, a little bit of pops, and stuff like that, doesn't really bother me. I mean, if it gets down to VG, then I'm starting to get a little, you know, depending on what kind of music it is and what record it is, and like if it's doing it in some song that I don't like anyway, you know, it doesn't really bother me. It's like, screw that. Like for me on the White Album, there are certain tracks that I really have no use for, like Martha My Dear. There could be like gouges and scratches all the way through that song, and you know, I guess I'd worry about my stylus getting, you know, worn out from that, going over that, but I wouldn't mind what it did to the music. Let's see. Anyway, so I finally picked up a copy of this on eBay because it was cheaper than buying it any other way, it seemed like, and I got an original pressing, not a reissue. For some reason, reissues get on my nerves. Now, if the original costs like $600 or even $100, and you just can't find it anywhere, I can understand getting a reissue. Or I posted a while back Stooges Funhouse that I got as a reissue. For some reason, it's only available in the UK. That comes with a whole extra record. And years ago, there was a Funhouse box set that came with like 8 CDs, 6 or maybe it's just 6 CDs of all the different takes of all the tracks from that album, which is maybe a bit excessive, but you know, it's one of the best records ever in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion. Or anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. You know, unsubscribe. I don't. 7 minutes. Okay, let's see. Anyway, so I love this album. I think this is one of the best electronic / dance or whatever albums ever made. I just like almost every track on it. It's just awesome. So I finally picked that up on vinyl. What else do I have nearby? You know, I think we all pick up records sometimes just because the cover looks interesting. You know, I mean, it's nice to listen to everything first. I don't, you know, have radio. I don't keep up with internet radio stations or whatever. Thought I had some background music going on. I don't know what the freak happened here. Is it playing? It thinks it's playing? It's gone. I'm sorry. I was trying to play some music that I made a long time ago that I have on the archive.org of just me strumming guitar in a very sort of pathetic, unskilled way. I thought this looked interesting. Buffy St. Marie. Her pose I just found sort of interesting and sort of poetic maybe. She doesn't look like your typical pop heroine. Little wheel sit and spin. I guess she's Canadian. And she is a Native American. Anyway, I listened to side 1 of this shortly after I got it, but haven't had a chance to follow through. I mean, there's certain things that, you know, you can listen to and appreciate just on an initial surface listen and just, I get this, you know, and then there are other things, especially if a lot of the quality of the record is in the lyrical content, you know, you can't just, you know, pick that up, you know, on a casual listen. You have to give it more of your attention. You know, I picked this up recently from a record store in town called Breakaway Records because it was cheap. Michael Quattro in collaboration with the Gods. And in some respects, this is a, you know, 70s rock or very late 60s rock record. 75, it looks like. But it has some interesting musical elements that, you know, made it worth picking up to take home to listen to more thoroughly. So I haven't had that more thorough listen yet, but I'm looking forward to that. This is an interesting thing. It's interesting to me also, you know, that some records that are obscure are expensive, and other records that are equally obscure, probably equally as good, just aren't, you know. Like my wife and I collect natural history prints, and you know, Audubon, you know, is a household word, of course, and his prints are very expensive. But you can find a lot of amazing stuff that I like a lot better than Audubon that is much less expensive, you know, and so, you know, it's just interesting that, you know, you can say, okay, I want to collect this, you know, that kind of music I can listen to on YouTube or whatever, or you know, get the CD. Like, I'll try to focus on, you know, getting on record things that, you know, because there's so much great music, you know, and it just seems sort of wasteful of my resources to, you know, I pick up some expensive stuff every now and then, and that can be fun and gratifying, but it's also depressing to have to, you know, pass up on so much stuff, because, you know, one of the great things about the VC is you find out about lots of music that you didn't know about, and it's nice to be able to, you know, branch out and just sort of, you know, dig into some of that. Okay, I apologize to everyone watching this. So this isn't a better video. I wanted to make a video because I'm not making any freaking videos, and I was like, well, maybe I'll do a video of just some stuff that I like, and then I was like, well, like, what if I did just my Sisters of Mercy EPs and talked about how I like their early stuff? Well, actually, that's not true. Well, I do like the early stuff, but I think EPs are a really interesting format for bands to use because, you know, on an album, there's almost inevitably either filler or just some tracks that are weaker than others. Whereas on the EP, you can say, I'm going to just have 3 to 5, maybe a maximum of 6 tracks. And they're all going to be freaking great because I don't need to put any crap on here because it's just an EP. And I'll just release, you know, maybe instead of an album a year or 2 albums a year, I'll release, you know, an EP every 4 months, you know, or every 6 months or 8, whatever their creative spurt is for that amount of time. And anyway, I really like the Sisters of Mercy's EPs. The first actual album is called First and Last and Always. And to me, in my mind, because of this, like all their EPs I got as UK imports, whereas their first album, First and Last and Always, is available as an American release as well as an import. And I just think the album is like, I want to use the phrase weak sauce compared to those EPs. You know, there are a couple of pretty good tracks on it, but it just doesn't hit the vein as well as the tracks from those EPs, in my opinion. And then in the sort of next phase, where Floodland and Vision thing, I like those too. I like those better than First and Last and Always, but they've almost become self-parody at that point. You know, I mean, it's still fun, but it's so over the top as to be sort of, you know, I mean, I'm a serious goth. I'm not a, you know, goth because it's funny. You know, I don't know. Anyway, let's see, some other stuff I picked up recently. Mike Oldfield. It's called Airborne. It includes a live album featuring Tubular Bells. You know, how can you go wrong with Tubular Bells? So great. I've been really into, the two things I've been really into lately are drone records and something closely related to drone records, which are early electronica, Moog or Moog records and stuff like this. Donald Erb, Music for Instruments and Electronic Sounds, Reconnaissance in No Strange Land. You know, there's so many interesting obscure records like this, and some of them are just noise bloops going blip, 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 blip. Actually, that sounds pretty good to me. Some of it is obviously made by people who come from a classical music background, and maybe they've studied 12-tone music and they're making 12-tone music with electronics. And some of it doesn't seem that inspired, or it's interesting but not great. So there are a lot of records that fit into that category, but there's some really interesting stuff. And I guess part of me, I really wish I had been alive and listening to music at that time. I think I would have just gone absolute. I mean, I can't imagine living in an era where these kind of records were coming out for the first time. and there were these interesting hallucinogenic drugs that were not too hard to find and weren't yet illegal. That just seems like such an interesting world to be operating in. And now we live in a commercial world where we have everything and nothing's any good. No, anyway, I've already gone to 15 minutes here. I'll try to make a real, better video. I'll try to get a well-curated stack of records that I will show. Let's see. Do I have anything else to say? Negativity in the VC. The VC. No, the VC is awesome. There's an ebb and flow in everything, you know. Yada, yada, yada. I finally picked up a Techniques turntable, just to have a freaking Techniques turntable. It is a SL2000, a later plastic turntable, as I was informed. But I was told that it played well. I haven't had a chance to hook it up yet. I have to figure out I'd like to have 2 turntables hooked up in my house on a semi-permanent basis. But I'm taking up too much space, so my wife, won't let me set up another one someplace. So I have to... Okay, I'm going to get working on this, so I won't be such a mess. Robert Z, I apologize for my lack of organization. If I had been in the military, maybe I would have been able to pull my shit together. Anyway, I love all you people. Keep on finding great music and sharing it with other human beings to help save us from the struggle that we are all enduring all the time. And pray to the God of vinyl that my back gets better soon, please. Thank you. Bye.